Okay, what's the countdown between you and your wedding or your engagement, however you imagine it?
Jason, we are at 468 days.
Okay, now, the last time I spoke to you, you said there was no one on the horizon, but now I understand there's two, and let's talk about these two gentlemen.
Okay.
Okay, at the last event we attended, you met a gentleman named Mike.
Yes.
And you were somewhat attracted to him. What was it about Mike that stood out to you at the event?
The way he dressed and his height, just his overall appearance and his energy.
Okay, overall appearance doesn't help me.
Oh, okay.
I need specifics. Was it his eye color? I need specifics. Let's go down the list.
Okay, button up instead of a t-shirt. So that was the first thing that I noticed.
Okay, a button-up shirt.
Buttoned-up shirt.
Or a t-shirt.
Or instead of a t-shirt, which
okay,
I
let me
appreciate.
pause right there. What is it you like about button-up shirts over t-shirts?
They're not as casual. I feel that they imply more thoughtfulness in their appearance.
Okay, good. Continue.
He was taller than I am, which is not as easy to find.
You don't have to go into actual measurements.
Okay.
But the point is, he was taller than you, and that's what you prefer.
Yes.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You can choose a taller man or a shorter man. And
he stands out because he's tall.
Okay, and you were attracted to his height. You were attracted to his shirt.
Yes. I thought he dressed well.
Okay.
I like that.
Any other things that stood out to you in the initial contact?
He had a mellow energy about him, which I like.
Mm-hmm. Describe a mellow energy.
He seemed to be observant and not boisterous.
Okay, observant and not boisterous. And give me an example of that. Like, was he looking around like an owl? And he was not a braggart or seemingly conceited? Or can you be a little bit more specific?
Yeah, I think that he was just observing a lot and not necessarily drawing attention to himself. Okay,
do you think that those are generic qualities that most women prefer? That you think most women prefer a man that wears a button shirt, or a man that is taller, or a man that is, not as boisterous, a man that seems to be a little bit more reserved and observant? Or is that just go ahead.
I think that's a good question, and I think that I fall in line with a lot of women that want those things.
Okay. So if a lot of women I'm not saying all women, or a lot of women like buttoned up shirts.
Yeah.
Why do most men wear t-shirts and tanks?
Because they're lazy.
Oh, is that the answer?
Lazy and comfort.
They just grab something that's comfortable and put it on? Mm-hmm. Oh, I thought maybe they wanted to make a statement. They have an advertisement on the front of the t-shirt.
Maybe, but I would say, we're talking generalities and not specifics.
Yes.
I'm going to say generally.
Okay.
Lazy or comfort.
Okay, so we looked at 4 things that you liked in this gentleman, Mike.
Yeah.
Anything else that caused you to be somewhat drawn or somewhat interested in him?
Listening, when he did speak, listening to how he spoke, I liked, the cadence and how he spoke with people. Okay.
And I noticed you paused. Did you run out of things? Pretty much it?
That's pretty much it. I mean, you're just observing people at an event.
But that's enough.
What draws you in, what repels you.
Okay, so that's enough for right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how long did you... Okay, from the moment you saw him and said, okay, because remember, I'm kind of like the wing guy.
Yes,
I'm kind of like the mentor. So you spotted him, and I said, well, let me go introduce you to him. Uh-huh. And I know a lot of women would like to have someone like that in their lives, where they go to an event, and they go, I'd like to meet that guy. And you have a friend that says, don't worry about it. I got it, okay? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm going to get the guy. You're going to meet the guy, and we're going to see where we go from there. You got it? Yes. Okay. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, so you're like, so you're good with all of that. Mm-hmm. You presented yourself well, I thought.
Thank you.
And so, I would have liked to have seen you a little bit more aggressive,
okay,
in this initial stage, which I think, and see, this is one thing I've noticed about, and I'm not saying, I hate to keep talking about this boss babe energy, but I'm bringing it up because more than one person has said it about you.
Okay.
This boss babe energy, because sometimes you may not feel it, but others will feel it. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't feel that I talk loud in restaurants, but people that know the booths give me dirty looks. Like, I wish that guy would lower his voice. And I'm picking up on that vibe now. It's not about me and how I perceive myself, but it's how others perceive me. So I've got to bring the volume down. And another thing about talking loud when I go to these tea rooms and coffee shops and restaurants, what happens when I talk loud? You've seen it with your own eyes.
People interject.
People interject. And it's always been positive, but it's like, will you mind your business? But I guess the topics are interesting.
They are.
And it draws a lot of people in, and I guess that's okay. Because you know me, I'll talk to anybody.
You will.
I'll talk to anybody. The last guy that interjected was homeless. I spoke to him anyway. Mm-hmm. And I will speak to anybody. I'm not really... anybody that wants to interject, I'm game. Okay, enough of that. Okay, so going back to you and having the wing guy introduce you.
Yes.
But again, also as a mentor, and remember the difference between a mentor and a coach is that the mentor immerses himself into your issues, immerses himself into your journey, even more so than a therapist. A therapist will talk to you and bring a lot of valuable things to the table, but sometimes you need someone to walk through the valley of darkness with you. Somebody who's been there before and say, there's nothing to fear here.
Okay.
Let's just do what we have to do. But I do have to admit that it is common for a lot of boss babes to turn into toddlers when they get around men they find attractive.
Really?
Yes, because you almost went to toddler energy.
Oh.
Yeah, because you were almost speechless at some points there. And it was like I'm nudging you, say something, say something, say something. And I had to say something 3 times.
Which is so embarrassing.
Which I should only say it once. Like, Kate, move, talk. Because you already got the guy, you got his attention. Mm-hmm. And if the guy doesn't know what to say, or if he doesn't know what to do, relieve him of that burden.
Okay.
I try to encourage women, when you see somebody that you like and you meet a guy, if it's a guy like me, you don't have to worry about him drawing you out, because I will draw you out. Like I did the girl that I met.
Yes.
I drew her out, and we had a wonderful conversation, hung out for about an hour, which was not my plan. I had people waiting for me, but, she was, I felt, rather captivating. Mm-hmm. But we're not talking about me, we're talking about you.
Okay.
So my question is, what happened? How did you go from boss babe to toddler energy based on the context or the interpretation of how it played out?
So I think that I was trying to judge a good opening with regards to how the conversation was flowing, because I didn't want to be rude and interject.
Oh, there we go. There's the magic bullet right there.
I was thinking about...
You were judging, and this is what I always tell women. You must release the judgment, and you've got to follow your energy flow. Because when you're assessing and analyzing, you're paralyzing, you're not moving, and meanwhile, another girl will come by and sweep him away from you, as we see on reality shows all the time. We see this on reality shows all the time, where a guy is willing to talk to a girl, but she's moving so slow, and instead of her just following her instincts, she's looking for some kind of social construct of what a lady should do and what a lady shouldn't do, what she should say and what she shouldn't say. And this is why I'm trying to help you understand. Feel the moment, not all the possibilities that could come out of it. Because think about it. If you say to me, like if I say to you, all right, Kate, we're at this event. Okay. All right. What do I need you to do? I need you to scan the venue and spot someone that you find interesting, and I'll go from there.
Right.
Now imagine if you said to me, oh, that guy over there is interesting. Mm-hmm. And I start passing judgment. Oh, what should be the best approach? What should I say? What should I do? The world's going to revolve and he'll be gone. So I can't process like that.
Okay.
So for me to make things happen, you ever see that movie called Dead Poets Society?
I have not.
Robin Williams.
Okay.
Okay, well, he was teaching his students to carpe diem, seize the day.
Okay.
Latin word for seize the day. Mm-hmm. Especially nowadays, dealing with the new masculinity, and deceptive men, and all the games that men play. Women are going to have to kind of move right in to just experience the moment, and then take assessment afterwards. Okay. Not before, because he didn't do anything. There was nothing that he did or said that would. There was nothing that he did or said that would put him in the firing line of rejection at that point.
Right.
Okay? So, in summary, that's what we're going to take home right now and that is when you do meet someone and you're attracted to them, you've got to make your move.
And don't be a toddler.
Right. And don't, because, if you don't know what to do, you will respond like a toddler.
Okay.
Because we all, at some point in our lives, everybody reduces themselves to a toddler when they're in a moment of not knowing what to do.
Okay.
They just don't know what to do. And so when you don't know what to do, what should you do when you don't know what to do?
Well, I would stay quiet if I don't know what to do, because I don't want to say something.
Okay. What I would recommend that you do, especially in this situation, if you don't know what to do, compliment something. There isn't a man in the world that doesn't like a compliment.
Okay.
You just say, like, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to say. Just say, I like your button shirt. I know a lot of guys don't wear button shirts, and I find that very attractive.
Okay.
That would have, moved the score up a little bit.
Okay.
Because, I wear a lot of button shirts.
You do.
And I've never heard a woman tell me that ever. I like the way, as a matter of fact, that one nurse I was telling you about that was kind of hitting on me, she keeps telling me, why don't you wear tank tops and T-shirts? She actually asked me that. And I just said, well, if you have to ask me, that means what? You don't know me.
Okay, well, I appreciate the advice about, like, if I don't know what to say, find a compliment.
Yeah, a genuine one, a sincere one.
Absolutely.
Because you did like the button-down shirt.
I did.
There you go.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you for today. I appreciate it.
Yes, indeed.